man tends the cemetery with movements akin to a slow drawl.
Hello there, got a sec?
Yeah? What can I do for you?
Kind of a quiet job you've got, isn't it?
Most of the time, yeah. Yeah, they act up some at the full moon, though.
You been working here a long time?
Longer than you've been alive, son. I may have to be here longer than you'll be alive, for that matter.
Kind of a quiet...
Most of...
Mind if I pick your brain a minute?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
What can you tell me about...
I don't really care to talk about it. I don't do it none myself.
What can you...
I don't really...
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Ain't it just awful, them finding those bodies with voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody's trying to cover their tracks is all.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I told you all I know about that.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Seems like everybody want to visit New Orleans at least once in their lives. And they love the cemetery tour. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
There's lots of things to see here, but none are as beautiful as the St. Louis Cemetery #1.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Hey, if you want to know more, you should ask somebody else.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them ain't poisonous, of course.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I don't mind snakes myself, but lots of folks are afraid of them.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I don't mind snakes.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Sure. She was the voodoo queen of New Orleans. A powerful voodooine and a powerful sorceress. Believers still come to her tomb, you know. They write secret marks on the walls, leaving offerings in there. Then there's the tourists. They come out of curiosity. As a matter of fact, that big Dr. John fella from the Voodoo Museum, he's here at least once today. But Marie Laveau's tomb ain't the only one the believers visit and make markings and leave offerings at.
What else can you tell me about Marie Laveau?
Her tomb's on all our tours. Even the Baptists come round here to gawk. Course, you may not know this, but some of the real serious voodoo types argue that she ain't in this one at all, but down in an unmarked tomb in #3. It's all the same to me, I say. Save me a lot of cleanup work if she weren't here, if you ask me.
What else can you tell me about Marie Laveau?
Boy, go out and buy a book if you really want to know. I ain't too sure my facts these days nohow.
Have you ever heard the word Schottenjäger?
I don't know what you talking about.
Have you ever heard the...
I don't know what...
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis #1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, of course, but a big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers, you know. People come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound they don't know what they doing.
Tell me about yourself.
That's about all there is to say.
You said there were other marked tombs?
Yep. I seen bull hearts left on tombs and a nest of vulture feathers, plates of peas and cornbread. Animal parts, human parts even, it looked like. Male parts, if you get my meaning. And this at one of the great family crypts, mind you. Odd how them types just pick a spot and stick to it.
What other tombs get marked? Can you show me?
No, I ain't one for naming names. I don't like to encourage that kind of thing. It's distressing to the families, and rightly so. Don't know how that sort of thing gets started. Why folks come to start leaving stuff at that one spot. But it happens all the same.
What other tombs?
No, don't.
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery, number 1.
You know why the dead are buried in tombs and not in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins would float right out of their graves. Them dead would go floating right down into the water. Of course, if it was Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice.
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery, number 1.
It's a historical place. People buried in here from the Civil War and back further too. Take a look around, you'll see.
Tell me some.
Just look around, You get the feel of the place.
This is the tomb of Marie Laveau, Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall. Near the Laveau tomb is a piece of red brick, undoubtedly a cast-off from spiritual graffiti writers. Food, trinkets, and more unsettling things have been left at Marie Laveau's tomb as offerings from believers. A stone angel stands silently before a tomb.
A marble snake. Now that's cheerful.
Here and there in the cemetery, straggly plants grow in stone planters. St. Louis Cemetery, number 1, is one of the most historic and beautiful places in the French Quarter. New Orleans is famous for its above-ground tombs. The high water table prevents bodies from being interred underground. Gabriel doesn't see a name on this tomb. It's an imposing marble tomb from the last century. Gabriel can barely make out the name. Hamilton. This old tomb is in a sorry state of disrepair.
There's probably no one left in the family to maintain it.
Food, trinkets, vases seem to be a favorite decoration for the dead. A high iron fence with sharp spikes surrounds the cemetery. The marks are reddish in color and reminds Gabriel of crosses. They look like they've been here a few days at least.
I want a copy of these strange marks.
It's a piece of brick. It's Gabriel's sketch of the series of crosses from the Laveau tomb wall. That object does not open. That object does not open. That item cannot be read. Looking at the series of crosses, Gabriel can't help but to think that they have a pattern and a meaning he is not comprehending. New Orleans is famous for its above-ground tombs. The high water table prevents bodies from being interred underground. The name Ross is inscribed on this old tomb.
Welcome, Seeker. You must be the one Dr. John called me about.
I guess so. My name is...
Wait? Gabriel Knight?
You're too quick for me.
Actually, Dr. John told me. You have come to the right place, Mr. Knight. Tell me how I can help.
Magentię Moonbeam is wrapped in gauze and silks. She looks vaguely mysterious and mysteriously vague. A large, sluggish snake rests on the floor of the fancy bird cage. Apparently, Magentię is not a fastidious housekeeper. A shed skin shares the cage with its original owner. It's an old-fashioned parlor lamp hung with crystal. The Moonbeam residence looks like a cross between a voodoo temple and a Victorian fortune teller's parlor by way of H Street. It's a large cluster of quartz crystals. Magentiä's bottles probably contain secret ritual concoctions. A small draped table displays a crystal ball. A large crystal ball is prominently displayed. A glass lamp hangs from a chain over the table. The mask is made of carved wood and looks African.
Dr. John tells me you're a voodoo practitioner of some kind.
I am a voodooienne, a voodoo priestess.
Do you get many people in here on an average day?
Some days the need for my power is greater than others. But I have many regular clients who would be lost without my vision, Mr. Knight.
That's a great-looking mask on the wall.
It's from Africa, a gift to me from Queen Tabitha.
Do you know Dr. John well?
Oh, yes. We are old friends. Those with gifts are often drawn together.
So, let's say I came to you wanting to attract a woman. Well, what would you advise?
Oh, I wouldn't think you'd have any trouble attracting women, Mr. Knight.
No. I guess I don't. So, what advice do you give your clients?
I tell them to follow the light, beware of the darkness, and always get expert spiritual advice from someone with the sight.
That's what I thought you'd say. That's a great-looking mask on the wall.
It's from Africa, a gift to me from Queen Tabitha.
Nice place you got here.
Thank you. For me, it is a sort of temple.
I can see that. So, let's say... Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, Seeker.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
My practice is mainly selling charms and potions with magic power, such as gree-gree and voodoo oils. You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit. But my spells and charms are powerful, and they work.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Much of a voodoo yen's work is protecting her clients from the spell of others. I make special protective gree-gree to be worn in secret. They keep evil spells from working against my clients.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
The recipes for voodoo charms have been handed down from master to apprentice for centuries.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I have told you all it is proper for you to know, Monsieur Knight. Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele. But I can tell you that you should stay as far from it as possible. There is badness there, very bad.
So you don't think the voodoo aspects of the case are fake?
Fake? Let me tell you about fake. If I get information through the grapevine and make use of it, is that fake? No, that is part of a voodoo yen's power. If people don't believe, there is not much I can do. But if they do believe, that is a part of my power too. But there are things, monsieur, things not even a little bit fake, I can tell you. Believe it or not, but stay away from it.
What do you mean? Do you know something about the case?
I work hard on fine-tuning my spiritual antenna, Monsieur Knight, and I get a clear signal from that direction. Beware.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is the center of voodoo practice in the United States.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
It is a fascinating city with many dark secrets.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
It is my favorite place in the world.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
It is my
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? You mean like my beloved Grimwald? She's a python, you know. Quite deadly in the wrong hands. I was trained by one of the great voodoo queens to learn how to hypnotize and handle snakes.
Tell me more about snakes.
Oh, I wouldn't want to give away my trade secrets.
Tell me,
Oh,
do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
oh yes, she was the first of the great voodoo queens.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
She ruled voodoo in New Orleans for 100 years, they say.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
I'm sure a historian could help you with that, if you want to know more.
Have you ever heard the word Schottenjäger?
I don't know anything about that.
Tell me about yourself.
Yes? What would you like to hear?
How'd you get into this business?
I trained in the voodoo arts for many years with the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Who's she?
You have never heard of her? For shame! I can see you know little of the world of magic.
I'm beginning to get that impression, yes. What kind of people come to see you?
Seekers after the truth, such as yourself.
Do you do anything else?
I am a voodoo yen, and that is plenty. It takes much spiritual effort.
How many voodoo yens are there?
No one knows exactly. Many practice in secret. There are probably hundreds. But of course the level and the power of the voodoo yens differ greatly, depending on their training and natural gifts.
Tell me anything at all.
I haven't always lived in New Orleans. I came here from Kansas as a young woman.
Tell me anything at all.
I began studying voodoo more than 20 years ago. I am well versed in the magical art.
Tell me anything at all.
Many non-believers come to me. They are usually believers when they leave.
Tell me anything at all.
Dr. John sends me many seekers such as yourself.
Tell me anything at all.
I am happy here with my clientele and my snake.
Tell me anything at all.
I haven't always lived.
I can't think of anything.
Very well.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Where'd you get Grimwald?
She belonged to a traveling reptile show. She was being terribly mistreated, so I offered to buy her. She's named after a spirit guide I had once. The spirit Grimwald was a very powerful female snake priestess in Egyptian times.
Grimwald doesn't sound Egyptian.
I only know what the spirits tell me. Monsieur, I am sure they know better than we.
How'd you learn to handle Grimwald?
I told you a great voodoo queen taught me. She learned from Marie Laveau herself.
Oh, fascinating. Would you consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
No, I couldn't do that. You might do some gree-gree of your own, no? One must be very careful with such things. Hair clippings, nail parings, and snake scale.
Are you sure you wouldn't consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
I told you I couldn't do that.
How about showing me how you handle Grimwald?
Really? You would like to see me dance, perhaps?
That would be swell.
I won't make you wait, Monsieur Knight. No matter what you see, do not be frightened.
I'll give it my best shot.
Gabriel grabs the shed snake skin while Magentię is otherwise occupied.
They are truly inspiring, isn't it?
That's certainly one word for it.
It's the shed skin from Moonbeam's snake. That object does... That item can... Gabriel magnifies the shed skin from Magentię Moonbeam's snake. The snake scales are hued brown. They don't match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain. It's the shed.
Could I ask you a few more questions?
Certainly.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Tell me anything at all.
You have to be careful when handling a snake. They're more delicate than they look.
I'll bet. Tell me anything at all.
Many people are afraid of snakes. Isn't that silly?
Totally. Tell me anything at all.
Snakes shed their skins from time to time. You have to be especially careful of them when they're shedding.
I'll keep it in mind. Tell me anything at all.
Grimwald is very responsive to vibration. She doesn't recognize her name, but if I stomp 3 times, she looks right at me.
Tell me anything at all.
You have to be careful when handling a snake.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
All right.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
All right. Here's an old one. Take a lodestone and some brimstone to a crossroads at midnight. Light the brimstone with a match, and a spirit will come and give you advice in gambling.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
Here's an old hoodoo Dr. Gree-Gree. Place a dime under your client's tongue, and if the client is under a spell of any kind, the dime will turn black.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
To send someone away, take a rotten egg and write that person's name on it 9 times. You can also write on it where you want to send that person to. Take it and throw it against his door at midnight.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
Here's a nasty one. To kill someone, get a sock or a shoe that belongs to that person. Put graveyard dirt in it and bury it under their front steps.
Does that work?
I don't know. I never tried it.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
To ensure the safety of your child, cut a lock of its hair while it is still a baby and keep it with you. The child must have all its hair before it can die.
These are interesting.
They're very old. The gris-gris that I prepare is much more powerful, I can assure you, but I don't give out those secrets.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
All right, here's an old.
Do these symbols mean anything to you?
Oh, the voodoo code. It is very secret, yes. I studied it with my mentor, the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Great. Can you tell me what it says?
Let's see. Well, some of it is nonsense, I'm afraid. Whoever wrote this wasn't very good.
That's all right. Just tell me what it says.
It starts with a D and a J, and then... Okay, this part makes sense. It says, conclave tonight, bring... then there's more nonsense. F-W-E-T-K-A-S-H. Well, that last bit might mean cash. Fresh cash? It doesn't make much sense.
That's okay, thanks. DJ Conclave. K-A-S-H. It's a start.
I'm happy I could help.
Well, I guess I'll be gone now.
Do what you will, if it harm not.
Count on it.